Hello. So first things first, this is going to click over to video in a minute. A lot of people have been asking me to look into the quote unquote leaked audio that has now surfaced, and there is kind of quotations on said video that have been going around with Brent Kopacka's name in it. So before I did a reading on that, I wanted to go back through all my previous readings because Brent's name has come up quite a bit. So I made a compilation video like I have with the developing a theory, but this one is just specifically when Brent has come up in my readings. I do think that I have an idea of why this audio is coming out now. I am going to check this with a reading either tomorrow or the next day. My next reading is going to be on this. To give you a little window into said theory, I believe that they want to push to keep this trial private, and certain things are going to come out that give them the grounds to do so. But I'm going to leave it at that for now. But I wanted to share this compilation video with you of my other readings and when Brent's name has been mentioned. And then tomorrow I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of a theory that I have here and then check it with cards. Regret in reverse, accomplice, partner in crime, outside. Brian's going to say he waited outside and somebody else went in, or that he dropped someone off and didn't know what they were going to do. I feel like it's going to be Brent. I feel like Brent, his name is going to be thrown in the dirt, and it shouldn't be. Look at that card. That's like kind of what I imagined going on in Brent's apartment before. Because I said I felt like someone was kind of in there intimidating him or something like that at one point before it happened. Accomplice and partner in crime came up upright, and how it laid down on my desk was it was right on top of the body double deep fake card. False person and corruption. These two kind of look the same, and they're both black and white. Inside, tunnel reversed. It's almost like Bethany's testimony is important, and something could come out of it that's key, but what the real key is that it's setting up in some way to drag Brent's name through the mud later. So Bethany's testimony might not be like an instant volcanic eruption, but it's like the brewing volcano, like the brewing lava. Like it's not the eruption, but it's what heats up the lava so that there can be a later eruption. That's the point in her testimony. It's setting up something to later set up reasonable doubt, and that has something to do with not only Brent, but also the other suspicious deaths in the area. And I believe that her testimony is meant to benefit Brian, but it's not going to necessarily like instant gratification benefit. It's like setting up for later in some way. Did I do? Oh, justice. Let's do justice. Justice came out upright. River in reverse, travel in reverse, Pizzagate in reverse, and Democrat in reverse, and Republican upright. So we have them two. Travel, Pizzagate, and river. Because one's upright and one's in reverse, it's kind of making me think like two sides against each other, but working towards the same goal. But that would be weird. That wouldn't make sense. Pizzagate Travel River reversed. It's almost like maybe they're going to try and I don't know if this is like behind the scenes or like maybe somewhere that Brent was previously, if there's like a crime that's unsolved, it's like almost like maybe we'll try to pin that on him, and then after that, then we can. The Emperor reverse, King of Cups upright. This is all pointing towards, to me, my opinion, allegedly, Brian going with the I'm framed defense, and I'm being framed from all these different angles. But it's because of my association with this person. Like, I'm an easy target because I associate it with this person. And it's still like it's still a ploy at reasonable doubt. Yeah, I believe they're going for Brian drop someone off or something like that. I think they're going for Brent. And maybe it's that Bethany can testify to seeing Brent at the house. If it's not Brent, I guess it could be someone else, but it feels... Corruption reverse. Corruption reverse could be like how Brent passed away, like trying to cover up something so that it doesn't look bad on the military. Possibly something from Brian's team, like Brent did this, I dropped him off or something like that. But then he was confronted. They realized the truth, didn't want it to look bad for the military. Whatever happened, happened. That's the corruption element. And now they're framing me so it doesn't look like it goes back to Brent. I think that's what they're working up. And it has something to do with looping in other deaths in the area. Staying away from the stalking because I love you connection. I'm going to be very careful about looking into this because I don't want it to be disrespectful at all, but let's just look and see if there's a connection. I want a card for Brent, a card for Brian, and a card for their possible connection. Page of Swords for Brent. Knight of Swords reversed for their connection. Ace of Pentacles. They've at least been in the same place at the same time. They at least have some kind of connection in common or talk to the same people. If there is a connection there, it's not direct. It would be like once or twice removed. Like, I know this person that knows this person that knows you. What's confusing me here is the Knight of Swords being reversed is like... there being some kind of animosity or like tension, but in order for there to be tension or animosity, there would have had to been something happened. It's a clarifier for the Knight. King of Swords reversed. Is it possible that one of them offered the other one, like, hey, can you do this for me? Or, hey, do you want to be involved in this? either directly or like some kind of link. Does this have anything to do with the murders? 9 of Cups reversed. Clarifier. Oh. 5 of Pentacles reversed. Almost feeling like this was like something. Is it possible Brian did just enough? But then how could he know this was going to happen? Is it possible he did just enough to use this person as reasonable doubt? But then I don't know how it would get to the point where... Three of Wands reversed. This isn't just Brian. There's other people pulling strings. There's other people involved here. Brent, no. I don't think he has anything to do with the murders, but I think that maybe he, like... Like, is it possible that he was a potential fall man looking ahead? Like, but then I just don't know how it got to the point of what ended up happening. Like, I'm seeing it and then I'm losing it. Almost like establishing a little bit of a connection with someone just so if you need to, you can be like, oh, that person. It's weird. 3 of Swords reversed, yeah. Yes, something. Do I think that Brent is involved in the Idaho 4 murders? No. Do I think that someone is trying to make it look like that and has been like this was a plan going in? Yes, but I don't understand how it fits in. Like a connection through a connection, like... Let me look something up. Hold on. Is it possible that somebody was telling Brent they were going to frame him for this? Ten of Wands reversed. This is weird. What I'm getting, my opinion, allegedly, is it possible that this situation escalated because somebody was threatening to be like, oh, I'm going to tell them you did it, or or I have this on you, I can frame you. Because there was some kind of underlying like drug connection. This is what I'm seeing, and I'm going to leave it at this for now because hopefully going through the other pieces of the puzzle might help this make sense because I'm not getting all of the pieces of this right now. But what I am getting is I'm going to pull a card to confirm, but does Brent have anything to do with the Idaho 4's murders? No. Does Brent have a connection, either directly or indirectly, to someone who does have something to do with the Idaho 4 murders? Yes. Does the Idaho 4 murders have anything to do with Brent's death? Obviously not blaming the Idaho 4, but I'm just saying the situation as a whole. Yes, I think it does. But it's not that Brent did something. It's that somebody was trying to put this on him, or like threatened to, or like... One card to confirm. King of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, somebody who's in charge. This would be like not Brian, but somebody that Brian was like reporting to, or somebody that knew what was going on. That Brian, it's not a direct connection from Brian to Brent. It's a middleman again. Someone who's higher up in some kind of scheme, operation. King of Pentacles reverse is like exploiting someone. I don't know how it would have got, like, I don't know, man. I'd be interested to know maybe a little bit more about the roommates in this instance. I know I saw like his best friend write something. I don't know if that was a roommate or not. Like, I don't think so. I don't know, man. There's something fishy about this, but it's not that Brent is involved in like in anything that I think. I think he was being threatened to be taken down for this, though. That's what I'm getting. And that escalated. One card to confirm. Chariot. Movement. Somebody was pushing things forward in some way. I'm going to do this. I'm going to frame you. I have this on you. I'm like, for some reason, seeing it really, really clearly now, but I can't see who's in the room. But I'm seeing two people talking to him. Brent's like sitting on like a little bench, like a little stool type chair. It's like holding his face, like his jaw, his face hurts or something. He's sitting and there's like two people that are standing. One of them intimidates him, or is like intimidating to him, or is trying to intimidate him. Card for confirmation. Four of Swords. It's literally someone sitting in a chair with all the swords around them. Yeah, I'm seeing someone sitting him down, like, look, you can go down for this or something. Somehow that escalated into something else. Four of Wands, that's the home, that's the environment. Somebody that was sitting in his house with him. Yeah, that's, I literally said, I'm seeing him sitting there in a little stool, okay? This person's sitting in a little stool in like a living room, and there's two people standing in front of him. The house and the stool. And then somehow it escalated. It's like he didn't do anything, but it could have somehow looked like he did. I think that has something to do with the drug connection. Allegedly, in my opinion. And it may not have been drugs on his part. It may have been like some kind of financial involvement. I don't know, but feel like I'm seeing it, but I can't hear what they're saying. There's like a little stool. It's like a little... It looks like that. Like he's sitting on something like that in the living room, and there's people who are standing. And like, let's say he's that tall. Like, let's say he's sitting in the stool there, and he's like that tall sitting on the stool. Like, there's one taller person and one that's not as tall, and they're like standing there talking to him, and they're giving him some kind of information about how it can look like he did this, or look. If it wasn't the Idaho 4, then it was some other crime that could have fallen on him, but I'm pretty sure that it's pointing to the Idaho 4. One last card to wrap this part up. 3 of Pentacles. Just that he's sitting there with 2 people in front of him, and that's what this is showing. That's that financial drug connection, or drug related connection, in my opinion, allegedly. But long story short, Brent Kopacka, do I think he's involved in the Idaho 4's? That's no. But I do think there's a connection. Oh my gosh. Remember I said, crap, what did I say? My eyes are really watery, so I think I'm right. Something about something on the drive, like a protection on the drive. Something being set up on the drive. And that happened right before the drive. So it would be how to use that to the advantage of Brian. How to use what ended up happening to Brian's advantage somehow. Is he going to try and pin it on this guy? King of Wands. King of Pentacles is Brian, or King of Swords is Brian. King of Wands would be the connection. Whatever was being set up on the drive from Washington to Pennsylvania had something to do with Brent and using what happened to Brent to try and get Brian out of this in some way. But he didn't actually have anything to do with it. I know there's stuff being said about a security guard. I don't know if Brent is the security guard. Or if that's a separate issue. I'm not sure. So that's why his dad brought up that situation in the car, because they were talking about it. There was... Ace of Cups reversed. Ace of Cups reversed. Spilling everything out. Using everything that you can. Whatever. Okay, so in the previous, I think it was 2 Idaho readings ago, I think. But I said something about, I was saying in the car there was some kind of protection being set up or some kind of plan being set up. It has something to do with Brent. In my opinion, it has something to do with Brent. Not because Brent did anything, but because someone's trying to use him for reasonable doubt. This is going to be attempted to be pinned on him. And what's scary is there may be something planted. Oh my gosh. If they potentially planted something to make it look like he was involved and he's not around to stand up for himself, that could be that reasonable doubt factor. God, I hope not. Because I'm not seeing that he has anything to do with it, to be honest. I'm not.
I was a little worried that maybe I would, because that's a hard accusation to make for, you know, someone who was a service member and passed away. It's a little hard of an accusation to make, but I am not seeing that. And I would tell you if I was, I'm not seeing it. I am seeing that he may be a potential fall man, which is awful, or at least the attempt to be set up as one. That's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that that was a point of discussion on that car trip, because it was trying to be used in some way to Brian's advantage. If Brent and Brian were working together on the 4 murders. Covered this a little bit yesterday, but let's just look into it this way. Did Brent have any knowledge of the planning of these murders prior to it happening? Hangman in reverse, no. Eight of Swords. That's pretty much what I was just about to say. I feel like I feel this strong connection between what happened with him in this case, but not in a way that he has anything to do with this case, just in a way that I feel like his name is going to attempt to be tarnished in the aftermath in some way in this case. And I think that he knew about it at the end. I think somehow he came into that information and he snapped. I can't piece together what it is though, but like, I am kind of wondering, like an example of what I could be meaning. Like, and I'm not saying this is it, I'm just saying this is like a possibility. Like, think in terms of like things similar to this could be what the connection is. It could very well be that maybe that Brian got that knife from him originally. Like, it could be something like that. And then this happened and he's like, oh my gosh, like, because in that case, especially if there's other things like being in a close proximity and having like, if there's any connections, like it could look very bad, right? So if someone was coming to him saying like, hey, look, this, you know, you could be drugged into this. That's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing Brent having a connection with the murders. I'm not seeing Brent planning, executing, or having anything to do with the murders, but I am seeing the murders have something to do with what happened to Brent. And not in like a blaming way of anyone who is a victim, but and it's like this uneasy feeling that they're going to try and drag his name through the mud. But it's almost like they have like, it's reasonable doubt that they're using him to create reasonable doubt. Let's say that was Brian's plan from the beginning, to get a knife from a particular person that you would then set up later for a crime. Does that sound too far-fetched? If you're thinking in advance and you have this mindset of looking into the criminal's mind, what's a good way to set up someone else? Well, buy their knife off of them and use that. If he wouldn't have left his fingerprint on there and that knife would have just been traced back to someone else, that other person could have very likely been in Brian's shoes. Hence that plan working. So it was very close to working, or it was very close to potentially working. Brent Kopacka has anything to do with Brian. Knight of Pentacles. The Fool in reverse. There's some kind of connection, yeah. It's not a direct connection though. Yeah, it's not a direct connection. Ten of Pentacles reversed. There's some kind of connection, but it's not a direct connection. It's almost like they're connected through another party, even though they may not know that they're connected through that other party. So it's not a direct connection, but it's something to do with money. Yeah, this card came up in another reading, representing like a runner of something. So yeah, I do feel as though there is a connection between the two of them, but it's not a direct connection. It's not like Brian and Brent being in the same room. It's like Brian and Brent do business with or have some kind of transactional connection with a middle person that is connected to both of them, but they're not directly connected to each other. If their connection had anything to do after the murders, and then one card for connection between the two. I knew it. Yes. The woman that we've been referring to as the link the entire time deals with both of these individuals. Nine of Swords reversed for the connection between the before and after, and then the Eight of Swords being trapped. Oh. So Queen of Pentacles is coming out for Brent and Brian's connection before the murders. And I said that they're connected through some financial aspect, but not directly. And then we have the card that's literally representing the person that's the link. And then this is what worries me, because this is Brent being trapped in regard to what could Brent and Brian's connection have to do with the murders after the fact. We had Brent being trapped, and we know what happened to Brent, which falls in line with this. So it's almost as if it's saying, yeah, it does have something to do with the murders, which is what I got in the previous reading, that it's looking like, what did I say? I was seeing Brent sit on a stool, and then there was people in front of him, two people trying to convince him about something, or that's this. But this is saying that it does have something to do with what happened. And then the Nine of Swords reversed is getting help for something or assistance with something, especially something that is very overwhelming or stressful. So we have the Queen link is connecting them through something involving money. They are not connected directly, Brent and Brian, but they are connected somehow. And Brent somehow got trapped in a bad situation due to what Brian did. That, to me, is pointing towards like Fall Guy gone wrong. I do feel like somebody was threatening to, and this is what I got in the previous reading, that someone was threatening to set Brent up for this, as in the Idaho murders. And these 3 cards really confirm that to me, because it shows that they're connected but not directly. It has something to do with money. It's through the link. And Brent felt trapped because of this, and it has something to do with the murders. And help is like, if you're getting someone to if you're setting someone up to take the fall for you or threatening to, I mean, I guess that's technically helping, because they're helping you get out of it. So that's what I'm seeing here. 1 card for Brent. This came out right away. So our piece of this about Brent was, what is Brent's connection to Brian? And we got that they're connected through the link and something with money, but not directly. The card about money came out. How do I put this? He was not involved in the murders, but he was a piece of the plan before High Priestess in reverse. It's almost like he was the original fall guy for this. Like, from the start, he was in mind to be a fall guy. Like, if it comes down to it and somebody has to get caught, we'll throw him out there. That's what I'm seeing. Was he actually involved? I don't believe so. But when this was planned, was he a part of the plan unknowingly? Yeah. He was the intended fall guy. Either the fall guy, or I guess it could be he was somebody's alibi and then didn't want to go along with it. But that would only be Brian's alibi. Oh, not necessarily, actually. Seven of Swords reverse. Yeah, he didn't want to get caught. I wonder if he was asked to be a part of it and said no, and then knew too much. Like, they thought he would say yes and he said no. Not to doing the murders, but like, it could have been something about the car, for example. Like, hey, can you drive the car here so you're seen at a certain time? And like, he didn't want to be a part of it, and then he knew too much. I don't believe that Brent made any decision to be a part of this at all, but he's involved in it. Like, he's linked to it. But it's not something that he chose. It's really weird. It's like someone saw him struggling and was like, I'm going to set this guy up in case this goes bad. Or like, this is a person that I could use for something. Five of Wands. Yeah, he didn't want to do it. It would be like, for example, if somebody asked him, like, hey, I need you to go pick something up from this guy and bring it to this other place. Like, I don't know, like, it would be like if Brent kind of put it together in his head that it had something to do with this, or maybe it was like something that he didn't want to be involved in, and he was like, no, and then he knew too much just from knowing that, so then he had to become like removed from the picture. I'm gonna pull 2 cards for Brent. One is his, like anything from him for 6 months before the murders, and then one is for the 3 weeks up to, no. First card, 6 months before the murders for Brent. Second card, after he found out about the murders, or after the murders happened, like directly after. And then one card for right before his death. It's in reverse. Earth. You gain what you work for. It was in reverse. So he was struggling. I just said somebody saw him struggling. It was in reverse. Somebody was using his personal struggles against him, or was realizing that they could. Is that scary with autumn, Halloween? We've had this card in the other reading, and it represented one of the girls, Bethany. This is for right after he found out about the murders. Is it scary? He knew that there was something I don't know what he knew, but like it's almost like he knew, like he knew that he could be threatened to be set up for it. Like there was something going on. Halloween, mask, pumpkin, carving a pumpkin. He was asked to play some kind of role and said no. It might not have been like, hey, do you want to help us murder these people? But like, for some reason I'm blocked from getting that, and I think it's probably because for my safety. Like sometimes I can't see certain things. It's like literally a wall, and it's because I'm not meant to say them. Like I can't see what it is. Yeah, I'm getting completely blocked out. I'm not supposed to see whatever that is. In reverse, dangerous passion, red as a bleeding heart. But it was in reverse for before his death. Red as a bleeding heart. What I am, I believe that somebody was trying to tell Brent that they could set him up for this in some way, or played a role in this or something. There's some connection, but I'm being blocked from seeing exactly what that is, and it's likely for my safety, so I don't want to push it. I really can't. It's like I'm literally, when I try and get there in my brain, it's like everything shuts off and I can't see anything. So whatever that is, I'm really not supposed to see it. I don't know what it is. I really am just getting blocked. It's really frustrating. It's something about the knife. Something about the knife involves Brent. He didn't do anything in these murders, but something about that knife connects Brent to this whole thing happening. It's almost like Brent was trying to get out of something and they wouldn't let him. Like you're not leaving, or you're not stepping away. Here's some money, be quiet. But he didn't accept that. He wanted to be done with something. Six of Cups and the World and justice. So this would be representing the connection. They're both connected to the same thing. This would be representing him wanting to be done. I'm done. I want to close it out. No more. No thanks. And justice here is representing that him wanting to be done with that brought about the conclusion that of how things happened. Like, because you want to be done, the situation unfolded where he lost his life. There's a lot of different ways that could happen. It could have been the tip that was called in. It could have been something staged or set up to make it look like a certain way. I'm not sure. But in some way, I believe that Brent wanting to be done with something brought about what happened. The next one is Brent was a potential fall man or was threatened to be set up for this in some way. 4 of Swords. Four of Swords is like rest and protecting yourself. King of Cups. It's like someone messed with his emotions enough or played on his emotional vulnerability to make him feel like there was a way that he could go down for this. I really, honestly, truly feel like his death is directly related to him being threatened to be set up, or like maybe not being threatened, but being set up as a potential fall person for this crime. And it did not work the way it intended. And what happened. But I feel like someone knew how to play with his specific emotional vulnerabilities and convince him that he would be seen as crazy or guilty no matter what. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think he actually did anything wrong. I don't think he has any guilt whatsoever. I think he may have something to do with the knife. I don't know if it was stolen from him or sold from him, but I don't think it was like anything malicious. I just think he has some kind of connection to the actual knife or knife sheath or both. And then the one after that says the knife may have someone else's fingerprints on it besides just Brian's. So how do they connect? Five of Cups reversed. The Empress reversed. I really feel like that knife has Brent's fingerprints on it, or was Brent's knife. There's a connection to Brent and this knife. That's immediately what I thought when I read that. And then the Five of Cups coming up in reverse is like finally getting peace, moving on. And that's making me think Brent. And then the Empress reversed is like the link set up him to be the fall guy. I really feel like that knife has some kind of connection to Brent and he was the intended fall guy for this, but everything went wrong. The Hierophant. Yeah, like having knowledge that you otherwise shouldn't have. I wonder... The Moon in reverse. It's like someone knew enough about Brent to use his it's like a very specific emotional trigger. Like, for example, like if someone said, if you don't do this, I'm going to tell, like somebody that Brent would have deeply valued their opinion. Someone knew how to hit him where it hurts. I don't know how to make sense of that. I can see it, but I can't make sense of it. Death in reverse and the Sun in reverse. And Two of Swords in reverse. So about making a decision, and then this is like not wanting... I almost feel like, for example, if like somebody knew that Brent did something that maybe he wouldn't want his parents to find out about, or someone that like mattered to him, and someone was threatening to expose him that way, if he didn't go along with some kind of plan, like it has something to do with the knife. And the Sun being reversed is like, it's like being blocked, which in a previous reading, I saw Brent sitting on a chair and two people standing in front of him, kind of like talking at him and not to him. It's like somebody tried to intimidate him to go along with a plan. And at first he said, yeah, or maybe I'll think about it. And then no. And then it was like, let's just pressure him, put pressure on him, and he'll go along with it. And he didn't. That's what I'm seeing. But again, I don't think he actually did anything wrong. Like, I'm not seeing that, like, he did something and that's what was going to be exposed. It's more like, just for an example, it could be like someone in school and they dropped a class and they didn't want their parents to know. It feels heavier than that, but just for an example. Brian is waiting for the right time to play some kind of card. And Brian found a way to trap someone into helping him in some way. Oh. Eight of Pentacles reversed. So that would be about, don't focus on this yet. Focus on here. Pretend everything is going well so that everyone can not expect me to drop this bomb at the right time. Ace of Cups. That's about letting it flow. This is also the Holy Grail. Oh no. He has something. I don't know what it is, but he has something. I'm not saying that he's not going to get convicted, but there's going to be a moment during this trial where everyone who's been watching this case is going to be like, without a doubt, like, he has something. Right, for some reason, okay, Maddie wants to be the one to say this. It's the atomic bomb of information during a court case. He has something that is an equivalent to an atomic bomb that he will drop during this case. It's almost like flying over... Hold on, let me pull... I don't know if that's exactly an appropriate metaphor, Maddie. Hangman. She don't care. Okay. She would like me to use this. Okay. This is the metaphor that I'm being given. And for some reason, she wants me to say specifically by Maddie. This would be like if someone put Brian in an airplane. Again, this is a metaphor. Someone puts Brian in an airplane. Like a speedboat, but in the air, right? If someone puts him in that and flies across where there's like land, ocean, land, ocean, land, ocean, right? And if he drops the bomb at the right spot, it will hit land and everything will blow up. But if it goes in the water, it may fizzle and go away. Like that's what I'm seeing in terms of what it is that he has for information. I know that might not seem like the best metaphor given the times that we're in, but that's what she wants me to use. So Brent's name is going to be drug through the mud in some way. Something to do with the knife and trying for reasonable doubt. The Lovers in reverse. Huh. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. A missed opportunity. Yeah, it's like someone... The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I really strongly feel like Brent knew that he was being attempted to be framed for this. Because the Ace of Pentacles would be about taking back an offer. Like, okay, never mind. So like, hey... It almost feels like somebody approached Brent like, hey, can you go down for this and then we'll get you out of it. We'll prove your innocence, but like, can you go down for it for like a minute? And then he was like, what? No. Which previously I had a vision of him, Brent sitting on a stool and two people in front of him talking at him, like trying to intimidate him. That would fit. So Brent is approached by people who say, hey, we need someone to go down for this, but we have the ability to get you out of it. You just need to go down for a minute and then you'll be made to look like a hero or something like that. And Brent saw through their plan and was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then they took the offer back. Okay, well, now you know too much. Oh, so Brian, there's some kind of information that he has to use at the exact right time for it to have positive effect. But if he uses it at the right time, it could cause some chaos in the trial. So let me use these. What can we know about whatever that information is that Brian may use at the right time for his benefit? Four of Spades. Jack of Clubs. It's like something medical that happened to Brian, but I don't know how he can use that. I don't know if maybe this is just referring to like his drug use and like that being the reason why he was seen in the area as many times as he was. Or I don't know if this is referring to like something that happened during childhood that somehow but the four is like can deal with like the army or like special forces or something. So something about Brent and drug connection. Queen of Swords. So you're going to try and connect Brent to Dylan? I'm like not able to see this part for some reason. There's something about Brent and drugs that are going to be exploited or misrepresent it or something. But I can't see any further into what it is for some reason. Bethany and Dylan saw people in the driveway on the night of the murders, the drug connection, and Bryant. One or both of the surviving roommates saw someone either circling the house or sitting by the house, watching the house, not realizing that it had anything to do with what was going to happen. 5 of Cups and the Fool. Queen of Pentacles. It wasn't Brian that they saw circling the house, though. It was someone else that was like scoping out the house because they were told to. Which, if we're going with the timeline of Brian leaving Washington at a certain time and all of that, there's no way that that could have been the person that was seen circling the house. So this is saying that there was more eyes on the house that night than just Brian's. To the point where the surviving roommates were able to pick up on it. And it was on behalf of the link because we have the Queen of Wands. So it's almost like knowing Brian was going to do that at some point, there was someone else who was scoping out the house. And we know it's not Brian because either he was with his car in Washington, like prior to this happening, because if we go on that timeline, he just pulls up, jumps out the car, runs in, does it, and runs out. Or if he's not the one who moved his car and he's waiting somewhere by the house, it still couldn't have been him that's circling the house because he wouldn't have had his car. Does that make sense? So, Queen of Wands, woman who has lost her way, does the links work for her? Something along the lines of, well, what can I do now? It's too late to go back. The World, surrounded by all the pressure, surrounded by everyone telling her what to do. I believe the Queen of Wands is Bethany. But I believe the Queen of Wands is Bethany, but I believe it's Dylan that was doing the work for the link. But there's like some kind of information that Bethany has passed on to authorities that we don't know about yet. That plays a big role in something. We're not just talking about Bethany and Dylan. We're also talking about the other person that was getting information and passing it along. The 3 of them is a little group. So Bethany, Dylan, and the person who was invading the girl's privacy. What can we know about that 3rd girl? The Emperor, Tower reversed, Knight of Cups reversed. Yeah, so out of the 3, that 3rd person that was invading the girl's privacy and passing on information, that's the one that has the highest rank out of those 3. So it's that 3rd girl, then Dylan, then Bethany, in terms of their like connection to this group or organization. Brian's car or apartment did give some kind of lead or info. Something was purposely left by Brian to connect him to someone else in case he got caught. This is like if you don't delete, this is like if you do delete everything from the entire computer, you wipe it, you get completely erased, on top of erased, so that if they recovered it, they still couldn't see it. then you went in to delete something but didn't delete it to that same level. So like you super deleted something and then only kind of deleted something else. So it would look like you were trying to delete it, but you know what I mean? So, oh, it's kind of like how I just said when you do something really bad and then you tell them about something medium bad so they don't look further. That's the same thing. It's like making it look like you were trying to delete something and you didn't know how to do it further so that they don't look further into other things that were deleted further. It was something that was left intentionally. It's something that directly connects him to the victims or something, or some kind of connection, something digital. Three of Cups and King of Pentacles. The Three of Cups was representing the girls being out that night. It might not be something that connects him directly. It might be something that connects the driver or accomplice, but something that can be twisted to use. It's all a ploy at reasonable doubt. So it's like, I don't know. Some kind of ploy at reasonable doubt using a connection between someone that Brian's connected to and someone that that person is connected to. So I'm connected to this person's connected to them. Somehow that benefits me if I give you this certain information. Brent was trying to get out of something and they wouldn't let him. Brent, again, is not Brian. It's a separate person. Everyone always questions when I say this. Brent is a separate person. To figure out who that is, you're gonna have to go back a couple readings. Nine of Cups reversed and Nine of Wands reversed. Trying to get out of something. Nine of Wands reversed is not, I don't want to do it. I'm refusing. I'm not meeting you halfway. No is no. No, thank you. Goodbye. And then the Nine of Cups being reversed is like, I'm not getting what I was offered because I don't want to do what's required of me to get it. So there's something I could attain, but I don't want to because I don't want to do what they want me to do. And then double nines is making me think like the yin yang symbol, how there's good and bad and good, but both are in reverse. So it's like the negative overtook what could have been positive. In this case, it's like I could have gotten this reward, but I would have had to sacrifice doing something I don't agree with in order to get it. So that reward is available, but I'm saying no, that I don't want it because I don't want to agree to do something that I don't want to do to get it. Oh, okay, so this is talking about Brent. Someone messed with his emotions enough or played with his emotional vulnerability to make him feel like there was a way that he could go down for this. His death is directly related to him being threatened and set up as a potential fall person for this crime. Again, Brent, not Brian, Brent. This did not work out the way it was intended, and what happened happened. So people always question when I'm talking about Brent if I'm meaning Brian, saying the wrong name. It's a different person, Brent. It's the man who was in the army or something that was shot by law enforcement near where Brian lived. High Priestess reversed, Ace of Wands reversed, Wheel of Fortune reversed. Yeah, like things taking a bad turn. This is like, now you know too much and now you're against us and you know too much, so that's not good. And then this is rejection, so no, I don't want to do that. I'm rejecting your offer. I don't want to get involved in this or whatever, which is what I've been reading for Brent the entire time, that there was some kind of offer that he turned down, and then he knew too much because he knew about the offer, so he knew that the offer was then played out by someone else in some way based off of what ended up happening, and things took a bad turn. Someone convinced him that he would be seen as guilty or crazy no matter what. He didn't actually do anything wrong. He may have something to do with the knife, but it wasn't anything malicious. So there may be some connection. Six of Wands reversed. The Sun reversed. Yeah, someone like, whoever was making him some kind of offer knew him well enough that they knew exactly how to attack his specific mental health vulnerabilities. They knew how to play up, oh, people think you're crazy. People think you're crazy. They'll think that, like, they think that you're just a soldier that lost his mind and blah, blah, blah. Like, that must have been some kind of fear, or like maybe something that had happened in the past, but it was like, and it may not be that specifically, but it's something like that. And it's like the person who was trying to persuade him to do something that he didn't want to do knew how to directly attack that very specific vulnerability. So they knew him well enough to know that about him, is what I'm saying. But the Six of Wands reversed is like, no thanks. And then the Sun reversed is like, okay, this will pass, and then it didn't. These victims were silenced, right? So he knows the behind the scenes of how that unfolds. So he's going to try and flip it and make it look like he's the one that's being silenced for what he knew that connects to what the girls knew. So the girls knew something. They were silenced. Brian allegedly did what he did. And now that he's in the position he's in, he's going to make it look like he's framed because he is being silenced. I wonder if it's possible Brian's going to say that he was being watched, or he was picking up on something creepy going around him. Like, hotel, motel, desert in reverse, happy in reverse. Spouse, partner. Oh. This has something to do with Brent. Either Brent did it, I knew stuff that I shouldn't have, and now I'm being silenced because Brent isn't here to pay for the crime, so they're coming after me so that I don't say what I know, because through Brent, weird science. Remember his dad kept bringing up in the car when at the traffic stops about Brent? I'm wondering if they're going, oh, remember before there was something being set up on the cross-country trip. I'm wondering if Brian's going to say that he was leaving at that particular time because of what happened to Brent, and thinking, oh, now they're coming after me because they got to Brent. And then hence trying to use that in his favor, saying, I was trying to get away from them. That's why I left right when that happened. What can we know about what I just said? 10 of Pentacles, King of Cups, reversed 6 of Pentacles. A one-sided debt. The King of Cups here would be representing how I said it's like someone played on Brent's emotions to get into his head. And then 10 of Pentacles would be the connection to the same root. I don't know which direction it's going to head, but Brent is going to be brought into this somehow. And I believe it's because of what happened to Brent, I had to flee at that direct time. Do a couple of these. Like, what can we know about what role Brent's name is going to play in this? Drastic, extreme, harsh, cut off, and has a car on it. Threatened in reverse, embarrassed, and appearances. Obsession, must have, indulgence, and divine feminine. I wonder if Brian's going to try and say that he was the driver, Brent did it, and then he fled to Pennsylvania once he realized that Brent had been what he would consider assassinated. So that, because this came out under assassinated, so that nobody talks about what they knew. It could be I dropped Brent off. Didn't know what he was going to do. Didn't really piece it together. But then when he was killed, I realized, oh, these people are coming after me. And I booked it to Pennsylvania. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that is possibly at least one of those potential routes. Remember I said there's like multiple routes that the defense could go in? That I believe is one of them. Is that the one they're going to use? I'm not sure. But divine feminine... an obsession, and this card with the car, and then threatened in reverse. Remember I said that I was getting that vision of Brent, and then there's two people in front of him, and Brent was like sitting on a little stool, and the people were like talking at him kind of aggressively. Threatened in reverse, it's like flipping it. It's making it look like Brent was the one that was doing the threatening. But that's not true. I picked up the whole deck, and the card on the bottom is corruption. Brian. What are pieces of the puzzle that have anything to do with Bethany or... I knew it. Beach in reverse. It's something to do with the other mysterious deaths in the area. Breakup, trapped in reverse, so released, boat. Breakup, beach in reverse, trapped in reverse, boat. This has something to do with the other deaths in the area and the people who keep mysteriously washing up in the water. Yeah, it's them trying to make this, I said this before, it's them trying to make it bigger than just the 4. It's them branching out. But they have to play their hand at the right time. Couple in reverse. Treason. Drugs and poison. Drama in reverse and devil in reverse. Drama in reverse, devil in reverse, and drama has a rope. Came out with drugs and poison. I said it's setting up something with a drug connection that Brian can use to explain away other not hard evidence against him, like pieces that make the other evidence look more probable are going to start to be taken away. Oh no. I mean, I knew what it meant, but treason, the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. The action of betraying someone or something. The crime of murdering someone to whom the murderer owed allegiance, such as a master or husband. Crime of betraying one's country. Treason. Brent. They're going to try and push this on Brent. They're going to try and push it on Brent and say that Brian was connected to Brent and Brent did this or had involvement in this or knows who did it or something like that because of a drug connection. Brian's going to try and push it onto Brent and explain away his like phone pings and all of that. It is going to be explained away with a drug connection, and this is going to be pushed on Brent, or attempted to. Or if not, that's at least what they're trying to see if they can set up through Bethany's testimony. So it's either that Bethany is testifying to some kind of knowledge of Brian, or that she's testifying to some kind of knowledge about Brent. Like, let's just say, for example, Brent came to the house and got drugs a couple times. This isn't to tarnish anyone's name. Let's just say that that happened. Maybe he came and picked up alcohol, something, anything. No, he wouldn't do that because he's of age. So let's just say he came and he picked up drugs. This would be like if they're getting Bethany to testify to that knowledge to explain how Brian is saying that he's connected to that person. Allegedly, my opinion. That's what I'm getting. I feel like I've done this before, but I'm going to do one card for Brian, one for Brent, and one for the energy between them in reference to what I just said. Brian first. The Tower reversed. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid myself going down. Brent, the Emperor. Huh. He's trying to put the focus on him. 4 of Pentacles, I'm trying to protect myself. The energy between them coming from each. So Brian, I'm trying to protect myself by trying to avoid disaster in reference to my connection to Brent. So I'm using Brent's name to avoid disaster because I'm trying to protect myself. And then the Emperor with 4 of Pentacles, he was trying. It's interesting because I said I saw him, I had this vision of Brent sitting on a stool and 2 people talking at him. And the 4 of Pentacles is pretty much that. And the Emperor is another man that's sitting in a throne. So Brian's trying to protect himself now. Brent was trying to protect himself then when he passed. He had information or something that he wasn't supposed to have. Because it's in, It's in reference to Brian. He knew something. Brian's using Brent's name to try and protect himself by averting disaster. Brent was trying to protect himself based off of knowledge that he had about Brian that he wasn't supposed to have. Or if not about Brian, then at least about the murders. Allegedly, my opinion. Okay, that's it for now. That